Hey there, I guess you're already planning your trip to Italy and maybe you're in this situation. Your browser has multiple tabs open, your Pinterest boards are full with safe pins with places to visit and things to do, and your notes app is full of links and interesting information and useful information, and you continue researching, but somehow the more you research, the less clear your trip becomes. Perhaps this is something that sounds familiar to you. Hi, I'm Vanya from Itinerary, Italy, and I help independent travelers just like you go from that exact moment of being overwhelmed and unsure and even stuck into having beautifully structured Italy itinerary that actually flows. So let's talk about why all the research starts to backfire and what to actually do when your trip planning turns into a full-time job. I'd like to start with something that is very important. Actually, doing researches, there is nothing wrong with it. Wanting to be informed or intentional or being in control of your trip, it's a very natural instinct, or even better, it's more than an instinct. It's the independent traveler's mindset. So I'm sure, and I know you want to understand where you're going. You want to choose places that speak to you, and that's a strength. But here is the problem: the internet is a mixer. It gives you too much of a good thing. And that's the paradox, actually, because the more options you have, the harder it gets to choose. You might say, I want to visit Matera, and you start reading blog posts, and one blog post say that Matera is a hidden gem, while another tells you that it's overrated. So you're already confused. Or take another example: you're scrolling photos on Instagram and you're seeing 10 different versions of Lake Como, but at the end of the day, you still don't know in which town to stay in. Or Reddit, that has a lot of different opinions, and you find 10 different packing lists. Or um, booking platforms for accommodations, and you have multiple tabs open of different accommodations that you haven't compared yet. You What you actually want for you is clarity, but what you get is just coming out in a fog. And you don't need more tabs open. You need filtering, you need direction, and most importantly, you need to zoom out so to zoom in. Let's talk about what all this over research really costs you, beyond time, of course. The first one is the decision fatigue. And let's say that you have already shortlisted 3 different accommodations, and you continue reading descriptions and try to compare them, and you still cannot choose, but not because the accommodations are not good, but because you have already looked at too many and your brain is just tired. The second one is the fear of missing out, and I get it, especially if you're a first time traveler to Italy and suddenly you want to visit Cinque Terre, Dolomites, Florence, Venice. You have seen that beautiful lemon tree on the Amalfi Coast and all that in just 9 days, and you're trying to not get it wrong, but in the process you're losing the joy. So, and here's the thing, here is the more subtle cost for you. It's the false sense of readiness, because you have read 10 blog posts about Rome, but you haven't made any plan yet. You have inspiration, but you don't have a structure. The question becomes, how do we get out of this digital chaos and turn it into clear and personalized plan that actually doesn't kill the joy of planning? So let me guide you through this. Um, before you open another tab, pause. Just stop for a while. Don't do it, and ask yourself, why are you actually traveling to Italy? Is it for cultural immersion? Is it for romance? Is it for food and wine? Is it for a family memory? What is it? Why? Why are you traveling to Italy? Your why is your compass, and it will help you filter the noise and zero in on what matters. After answering why you're traveling to Italy, and after clarifying your why, you should move one step further and ask yourself another question, and it's what are the non-negotiables for you? Not just places, but experiences. You should define those. This is very personal actually. Someone could be just one seaside village, for another one could be like, new hotels over 5 nights, or could be like, I don't know, a cooking class with the nonna. Here's the thing, here's the secret sauce. When you lead with vision, not destination, um, the travel planning becomes easier, not harder, because you're making better choices. You're moving already forward and you have already done the research. So now it's time to get everything that you have gathered, like screenshots or like your blog links or notes or saved pins. Just get everything that you have saved and organize them into categories. I personally use 4 buckets: destinations, logistics, experiences, and accommodations. And it's like a homework to do. But once you're done with organizing everything, you see that the picture is clearer because you see what's redundant, you see what actually doesn't fit your vision, and also what is just fluff. This is actually the point where you start gently letting go. You don't need all the top 10 lists. You don't need 4 different restaurant guides for Florence. You just need the ones that actually align with your travel style and are not generic. There is another thing that I feel it could be a good advice, just opening brackets. It's always watch out for red flags, like must see places but without context, zero context. Those are just generic itineraries with no pacing. And those are recommendations that don't match your travel style. You're not planning a generic trip, just remember that. You're planning your Italy trip. Now that you have everything organized and categorized, start shaping your trip. And you can start with geography, but don't stop there. Just think on how one place flows into the next one. Also, how long does it feel right to stay somewhere in one place or another? I think there is another key point here to mention, and it's just ask yourself, am I building a trip that feels right for me? Am I giving myself enough time to rest and to wonder? Am I leaving room for something spontaneous? This is where the structure starts forming. It's not just a checklist, it's already a rhythm. and it's your story, your trip. So, okay, so now maybe you're here and you're thinking, oh, sounds great, but I still don't know how to turn my ideas into a flow. Actually, here is where an expert guidance could make a massive difference. You have to remember that you don't have to do all of this alone, especially not the parts that most travelers go over and over again without actually understanding those. Like, for example, the regional train system or the limited traffic zones in the cities, or how long to spend where. Sometimes you just don't need more blogs. You just need one real conversation, and that's it. If you're actually in that spiral of open tabs and you want to go from your idea soup to a clear plan, you can click below the link and book a 30-minute consultation with me. No pressure, it's just a friendly conversation, and I will try to help you roadmap your Italy trip. Because what I think after numerous trips design is that planning shouldn't be exhausting, it should be an excitement. So you deserve that all your open tabs become your Italy trip. I'm Vanya from Designer Italy, and see you in my next video. Ciao!